Welcome and hello, and welcome back to our Wither Skeleton PvE Arena mini-series. My name is Andrew, and I have a lot in store for you today. If you missed the last two episodes, I recommend you go check those out. As a short recap, last time we discussed the plans for the layout of the arena, and we also did some preparation for shops and some refining of the Wither Skeleton storage/distribution system. Between episodes, I did do a little bit of preparation for today. I went through and added the chest silos that will be feeding into each of the shops, as well as the 3x3 piston doors that will be separating our different levels for the class shops. This is a design I grabbed off of a Mumbo Jumbo video. I'll link that in the description if you're interested in learning more about it. In today's episode, I'm planning to dive into the more complex aspects of the redstone behind this build. Before we jump too far down that rabbit hole, I think we could use a little divine intervention. Let us all have a moment of silence, raise our heads to the sky, and pray. Oh, God of Redstone, hear my prayer!
Hey, yo, what up?
You're real. Hi.
Yeah, how can I help you?
Oh, right. Well, today, we're gonna be working on a bunch of redstone, and I guess I was hoping to like get your blessing or something. Hopefully, everything goes smoothly and stuff.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I mean, unless that's like stupid.
That's stupid.
Oh yeah. I thought so. I thought so too.
Sure you did.
I guess I'll, get back to it.
Okay.
Have a good day, your redstoniness.
No.
Okay, bye. How do we know which round we're on? How do we tell the redstone it's time for the next round? When the game is over, how do we reset the rounds so that the game knows it's time for round one again? I found this really cool redstone counter in a Mumbo Jumbo video. It's just a chain of hoppers feeding into each other going in a circle. Half of the hoppers are locked with a line of redstone. When the line of redstone is unpowered, items can move through the circle. When the line of redstone is powered, the items stop. If we put one item in there and lock the hoppers, we can use a comparator to see the item in this hopper and call it, let's say, round one. If the next hopper is round two, how do we get the item to move over exactly one hopper? We are going to use a very simple monostable circuit. That fancy word is just a way of saying we're going to take a redstone signal and make it very short. In fact, we're going to make it exactly short enough for an item to move out of one hopper and into another. This is going to be done by shooting an item out of a dropper up into a hopper on top of it that will push the item back down into the dropper. That means we'll be able to get a signal out of our hopper that will last exactly as long as it takes for one item to move out of a hopper. If we connect that signal up to our redstone line that's locking our round counter, we can use a redstone signal to move from round 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and so on. When it reaches the end of the counter and moves to the back line of hoppers, it's no longer being stopped by the redstone line, and it just cycles back to round 1. Great! So now we know how to tell which round it is. What do we do when the game is over at, say, round 5? Well, I want the rounds to reset to round 1. It took me a minute to figure this out, but I discovered that if you count how many hoppers are on one side of the round counter, the number you get is exactly how many spaces we need the item to move in order to reset the counter. In this case, we're working with 15. That means I need to unlock these hoppers for however long it takes 15 items to move through a hopper. We can do this by just attaching an Etho hopper clock that is set to that amount of time. I only want this hopper clock to cycle one time, so I'm going to use one sticky piston and one regular piston. All I need to do is update the sticky piston in order to activate the clock. I'll put 15 items inside the hopper, And I'll take a signal out of the redstone block to send into the side of our comparator over here. The comparator will see that the signal I sent into the side is stronger than the signal it's taking out of the dropper in front of it. Because of that, it will stop sending a signal as long as this hopper clock is active, which just so happens to be the amount of time we need for an item to cycle through to the other side and reset to round 1. Awesome! So now we can iterate through our different rounds, and we can reset back to round 1 at any point in time. So what's next? Well, as we progress through the game and move into the later rounds, I want the rate at which we activate our dispensers and send skeletons into the arena to increase. We should probably use a hopper clock for this again. Since the signal from each round is immediately next to the other rounds, we'll need to use a hopper clock that's tileable. I was able to get a version of this from Izumavoid. It works just like any other hopper clock, but by using redstone torches instead of redstone dust, we can put them right next to each other. I don't want these to be running all the time though. I only want the clock for the round we're on to be running. If we send a redstone signal into this block, it will stop the hopper clock from cycling, so we're going to use the signal from our counter to do just that. Since we want the signal from our counter to unlock the hopper clock that it's attached to, we need to turn off the signal from the current round instead of turning it on like it does right now. That means we need to invert the signal we're getting from the round counter. That's exactly what redstone torches are for. By sending the signal from our counter into a block and attaching a redstone torch to that block, when a round becomes active, the block will get powered and the redstone torch will turn off, unlocking the hopper clock that it's attached to. By running a line of redstone dust over here, we can take a signal out regardless of which hopper clock is running. Now we need to take this signal and convert it into a randomizer that will activate one of our 4 wither skeleton dispensing modules. With only 4 dispensing modules, we don't really need anything too fancy for our randomizer. We'll just be using 4 item sorters hooked up to a hopper line that will recycle the items back into itself using a small item elevator. Our signal from the hopper clocks will just activate these droppers, powering both of them at the same time. This will keep recycling items up into the top dropper, as well as send an item into the sorters. When an item goes through the hoppers and into the sorters, we'll just take a signal out of the sorter when it powers and forward that signal to one of our wither skeleton dispensers. There's really not much else to explain here. It's a pretty simple way to accomplish what we're going for. There are some potential drawbacks with this system. If 2 of the same item are sent in a row, there's a very real possibility that the second item will activate the dispenser while it's still processing the first item, effectively wasting our signal and sending only 1 wither skeleton into the arena instead of 2. This may be something we need to revisit in the future, but for now, I'll just consider it part of the RNG of the game. These 3 components we added today are the very core of the redstone behind how this game will work, and to set us up to build everything else around it. Things are really going well. I'm excited to see where it takes us. If you have any ideas for things we could do with this project or ideas to improve the redstone so far, please feel free to give me your thoughts or opinions or whatever in the comments below. Of course, while you're down there, you might as well slap that subscribe button and like the video because algorithms and stuff. But until next episode, don't forget to sacrifice a screaming goat to the god of redstone or something like that.